What's up, everybody? It's the Shani Shay and the Nia J and the MJ show today.
Oh,
So,
What's happening?
for the Scholar of the Week, we
Hey.
have, I'm going to call this person MJ. But MJ, as you introduce yourself, I'll allow you to go into your own introduction. But also, Nia, if you want to take it away and say anything, that's also fine.
yes. So, of course, just want to remind everyone while we're here, like the incarcerated scholar of the week is someone who identifies as either formerly incarcerated or systems impacted. And, they want to be featured and honored and like just want to get the word out. We want to share their stories. We want to amplify their voices because that resiliency, that determination, we love it. And we want to just continue to feed around it and build community. So MJ, thank you so much for being with us today. And we can just start off with the first question of, what's your name, what's your major, what's your school, and just tell us a little bit about like, who is MJ?
Cool, right on. And thank you both for allowing me to be here today and share space and community. And this is dope. Since y'all started the show, I thought it's super dope, and I'm just glad to be a part of it. And shout out to whoever like nominated me. I don't know who it was, but shout out. So my name's MJ Hart. I actually just graduated from UC Santa Cruz with a BA in psychology with honors and a minor in history of consciousness, which is like social philosophy basically. And a little about myself. I am from North Fair Oaks, Redwood City, California. That's like an unincorporated part of San Mateo County. And I am formerly incarcerated. I actually got into the system when I was 11 years old, and I was in the juvenile system until I was almost 19. And then I was in the adult system until I was almost 25. When I first got out, I started to rebuild my life, which was like the hardest task ever, because I know most of us know when you're in the system, you can't really build because you always have to restart after you get out, so it was but this time was different. Like I really wanted change. I really wanted something different for my life. I actually like caught some really serious cases that really made me like reevaluate everything and just realize like that I was running out of chances, and just like, everything I went through and was going through, I believe is for a reason. And, so I began to start putting in that work to rebuild my life. And that began, of course we all have to, work full time or work to survive. But, after working like years just to like get myself stable, I realized, there was something else I needed to do in my life. Like I really wanted to give back, especially to the youth and like people coming up out of the concrete, out the system, and so I went back to adult school, got my high school diploma, first in my family. I'm a first gen, both high school diploma. That's where I really started to, expand my mind, my consciousness, and being exposed to different things and people, and started like really organizing and doing this activism work. And then I won the Carl S. Peace Leadership Opportunity Award to go to UC Santa Cruz, and I was blessed with basically like a full ride there. So thank goodness. And so then I went to Santa Cruz, and that's where I really started to weaponize my mind, as I say it. Like I went from growing up just learning to communicate through this language of violence, and that's pretty much all we have is our bodies, right? So once I started to learn and like open this door to knowledge, like if any of y'all was in attendance of the Visualizing Abolition event that we had last week, it was Art, Abolition, and the University. We were actually blessed with a message from Mumia. And, Mumia, want to just let y'all know right now, Mumia has COVID. We're actually going to be putting together a form if people want to fill it out and support, and we're going to get it over to the governor in advocating for Mumia's immediate release and treatment and release of all elders over 50 and people who are still incarcerated for, pushing justice through their political views. And we're all about changing language. So I'm trying not to call anyone a prisoner or anything. We really want to advocate for their humanity. But Mumia was, basically touching on, underground scholars and the underground of knowledge and this hidden knowledge. And so it's that weaponizing my mind is what really got me to, grow and expand and be here now. And now, as many know, like our chapter, the UC Santa Cruz Underground Scholars, we're brand new. We just started it, and yes, so I'm like answering the question. Sorry. So, is that cool?
You're great. You're wonderful,
Cool,
and
cool.
we'll lead, we'll guide and
Okay,
let.
cool. Right on.
um, you know what, MJ? I had never like interacting with you. I had never really heard your story, and it's a trip. And I just it's I mean, I'm always, amazed by you, already like admire your work, but to really hear just how long you've been working. Yeah, right, because I think a lot of times people think we only start working when we get on the college campus, but a lot of
Right.
our lives are like work from the moment we come into
Mhm.
this world. And I just appreciate you for real, and because your spirit is so big and you're just so genuine and pure, and like in terms of who you are, it emanates. Someone told me once that I emanate truth, and I would like to extend that same compliment to you. No, and it's big, and it makes a difference because
Yes.
it allows people to latch on to what you say. And so, so say some more. So we got
Yeah.
another question for you.
Yes, yes, it's all love. And I feel that and I get that from you too. Right on.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Love, love. And so, okay, I'm going to skip to question number 4 actually and go
Okay.
in honor of Women's History Month, right? Which is, we like to extend this month to every year until the end of time. But
Mm.
in honor of Women's History Month, we want to know, what would you like to say and what does it mean to you?
I would say I love women, so powerful. And I mean all types of women, whether they were born with female genitalia or if they're trans women. Women are so freaking strong. And I just commend. I was raised by the strong brown warrior queens. I'm biracial, but my father he committed suicide when I was a kid, and then he was a white boy, and his family like left me. So my mom, like, was raising single mom, raising me and my brother, and the things that I saw my mom go through. My mom was also incarcerated, and my mom grew up, in that gang life as well. And just that from literally creating a life and bringing a life into this world to like having that sole responsibility. I know sometimes, I commend the fathers or, parents who stick around and actually there to, contribute to raising a kid. But most of the time it falls on the mother and they become a single mother. And it just shows the strength of a woman, and I just want to thank all the strong women in my life, and the Black trans women who led the way. I am trans. And I just really also commend them, like Marsha P. Johnson, Sylvia Rivera, the ones who really started the movement, just all women on the spectrum. And, it's also, I have dyslexia, so I'm bad with like pronunciation, but Janelle Monet. Have you ever seen Dirty Computer? The like emotion? Oh my God, y'all gotta see it. It's the dopest, like a little, it's like a, it's from like her CD, but she made it into this like show. But basically, she has this song called Pink, and she explains at the end why pink. Like some of them have like vulvas, and some of them don't, because not all women have vaginas. Just like this celebration of just the spectrum, and when we really see that women have been erased from history, especially Black women. When you think about like all of the inventions, like GPS, like, like all these different things, like women are just always constantly being erased and being, not valued for their value, and so I just really want to highlight the beauty and strength of all women on the spectrum. They don't, have to have a vagina, or even women who are non-binary, who, it's a spectrum, it's fluid. But yeah, just want to say thank you to all you strong women, keep it going, and thank you to my mother, my grandmother, and all the strong women in my life who have, influenced me, and you beautiful strong women too. And for doing this, because I mean, we really at the forefront, but yeah, and thank you.
Everything you just said is like exactly like what needed to be said, because yes, I'm just gonna leave it there and just drop the mic because you definitely touched on everything. So I love that. We're gonna transition into just like, your wisdom. You've learned so much, you've experienced so much. Like I'm blown away by your journey too. So thank you for sharing that. And so we just want to know, like, what is like one piece of advice that you would tell to someone who is previously incarcerated or systems impacted and they're trying to get back into education? Like, what is like one piece or like a few pieces? It doesn't matter. Just let us know what they should know.
Cool. I would say first and foremost that the criminal justice system does not define you, you know, and it does not, you know, sometimes there is restrictions and barriers, but you can overcome them. You feel me? You can build yourself up. And I'm talking about, you know, leading with integrity, leading with, you know, justice and freedom and liberation in your heart and good intentions in what you're doing, you know, is going to go a long way, you know, and your past is only one part of your story, you know, and if we really utilize and reflect on our past, it can lead us into our purpose and growth into the future. You know, who you are now isn't does not define who you are can be in the future, you know. Who you want to be, what you want to do, you can strive towards it. You know, many times, like growing up in the system, we're conditioned mentally. That's why I always emphasize this: weaponizing your mind. You know, even when they locked up our bodies, I always read books. I was always feeding my mind, always weaponizing my mind, you know, and just that belief in yourself would take you so far, you know, and be mindful you reap what you sow. So if you got to see, if you put in a lot of work, you're going to get a lot out of it. If you are doing the bare minimum or like none, don't be surprised when you ain't getting shit out of it, you know, because it's what you're going to put in, you know, and just don't be afraid to fail. I failed a lot, but failures are meant to learn. You know, if we didn't fail, we wouldn't know how to recalibrate, you know, be resilient and, you know, adapt, you know, so don't get too hard on yourself, you know, try and look for the lesson in every blessing, you know, and really just keep going and keep building. And as you're building, you know, be mindful of the people around you because everyone's watching, you know, and also like I try to, you know, say, especially with people in these positions, you know, leading by example is so important, you know, in how you conduct yourself. And, you know, at the end of the day, you can only control yourself. So even if people are pissing you off on the outside, just, you know, try to maintain and keep it, you know, keep it solid, keep it strong. And don't be afraid to push a hard line for justice, you know, in this work. And we all seen throughout history, all the revolutionaries were beat down, talked down, you know. So don't be afraid when it's happening because it's gonna happen. I'm letting you know. So, but stay strong and push a hard line for justice. And I'm telling you, it will come and pay off. Even not even just in your life, even if you don't see it in your lifetime, in the future, you know, because the youth are seeing it, and the youth, you know, they're gonna continue and carrying this torch on, you know. So and just believe in yourself, you know, and build that support system, and don't be afraid to get out there and take risks and calculated risks, you know, and yeah, just have fun. You know, have fun. And you know, I know growing up too, we learned to build this hard exterior, you know, break that down a little, you know what I mean, but also self-respect and set and enforce your boundaries first and foremost. And those who are really your homies, they're gonna want to see you shine and gonna respect what you're doing. The ones who are trying to pull you back, misery loves company. You know, you gotta push out hard lines and keep your 10 toes down. And you know, eventually they'll come around when they start growing up, and they'll see, and they start, you know, growing in their emotional, mental. They'll see it. You know, lead by example. You know.
You're so authentic, right? Keep your
I
10
know.
toes down, bruh. I'm trying to tell you, they don't be want to hear it. I was talking to someone the other day. They said, "Why are you so rude?" I said, "Look, I'm trying to tell. I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm trying to give you some game. If you knew what was
Mm,
up, you would already be doing it, bruh. So listen real quick and just don't
yes.
worry about the fact that I'm not trying to sugarcoat it because the world ain't sugarcoated."
Yes.
And I just, when you said, I was like, "Oh my gosh," because like I also feel there's so much power in owning like what we know. Like
Yes.
we know to keep our 10 toes down. We know how to stay resilient. We know that when you do right, you get told that you're wrong. And so
Mm,
that is like really so important. I love that. And so as we know, yes, the previously incarcerated, the systems impacted, the incarcerated scholar is working day and night, right? Everything is
yep.
a continuous fight and they deserve all the support in the world. So I want to know what can be done specifically by administration policy and organizations, nonprofits included, to help support incarcerated, previously incarcerated, and systems impacted students and people.
Ooh, yes, I love it. I would say first and foremost on the institution level, institutional support. You know, not just using us for their diversity bullshit or, you know, speak at this event, or now, you know, abolition and, you know, the you know, ending the carceral society is so hot topic right now. So they want to invite us here and invite us there. What we want is sustainable support. We want institutional support for all our chapters on all the campuses, you know, if you're really about like helping us in this journey and, you know, supporting us and being in community with us, then you know, actions speak louder than words. You know, the world that we live in is, we already know it's a capitalistic society. I don't like it, but this is the truth in our reality. So we need that money so that we can get our, you know, build up our people, get our resources, and really, you know, build this prison to school pipeline, you know, starting even a step further when people are still incarcerated, because that's when they need to start weaponizing their mind and getting exposed to different things and expanding their consciousness, so that when they come out, they already have some type of purpose and drive and passion. If when people come out, like I remember myself coming out, and it wasn't until I had a purpose that I actually started changing and stopped getting locked up. You know, having a purpose is so important. And with that, the purpose, I really want people to realize we have gone through these horrors and we survived, and we're being resilient, and it's for a reason that we're in these spaces. We bring, like you just said, owning our wisdom and expertise. That's exactly what is our role and our job in these spaces. So people really need to be in community with us. We have voices. We don't need people to be our voices. We have a voice. What we need is a platform. What we need is for you to, you know, play your part but stay in your lane. It's when you start trying to get your name on stuff and this popularity and trying to take our narratives. No, that is only causing the same harm that the system is doing. You're doing exactly what the master of the system is doing to the slave. You're stealing our work, our intellectual work. You're stealing everything. You know, it's when we start to, you know, utilize this knowledge that you know, even to get the access to the knowledge, you know, because the university is a gatekeeper. Even then, you know, but once we start to utilize that knowledge for our communities and build and develop this critical consciousness, is when we break free from that narrative. You know, but when the system, you know, the university system tries to, you know, take our work for their own, you're just causing more harm. But if you give us a platform and be like, this is what we're doing, our research, you know, the things that we're doing out in the communities, same with orgs. What really makes me mad is this co-opting bullshit. It's like, okay, bruh, we get it. You want to be an activist and do all this, but your performative activism is only causing harm. It makes me so mad. And like what you said, I remember we were talking one day, Shani, and we were in a group and you were like apologizing. And I was like, don't apologize. You be unapologetic yourself, you know, because you're speaking the truth, you know. And what makes me mad is when we do speak this truth in these spaces where we're mostly dominated white cis males or just white allies, you know, when we start speaking about the things that we don't like or don't sit right with us, or we want to, you know, be like, hey, you need some innovation in this, you need to really be, you know, helping us. Like, it makes me mad when people alienate us and ostracize us because we speak our truth. You know, it's like, you don't have to guess, excuse me, you don't have to guess what we need if you just invite us to the space and we tell you. You know, like, it's always this like this tug and pull, and it just, I just want to say, like, to people, like, if you have good intentions, then be in community with us, you know, and stop alienate us. If we tell you something, take the critique. You know, we all had to do that too. It's exhausting having to police ourselves every day just so we don't make you feel uncomfortable. You don't think that makes us feel uncomfortable and moving in all these spaces? Like, straight up. So be in community with us, you know, amplify our voices and our struggles and what we're doing, and support us, you know, and do your part and be mindful of your part. You know, if you got privilege, open the door and we walking in. We got to lead that shit, you know? But yeah, and see us for our humanity, not for what our rap sheet or what popular media tells you or all that bullshit. Everything we're doing is we're taking back our stories and reshaping this narrative that the you know, white supremacist system paints for everyone, you know? So yes, just, you know, give us that space, you know, and support us. And we need institutional support. We need scholarships. We need, you know, mental health services. We need housing services. We need tutoring services. You know, we need actual sustainable support. We need to be leading, like how Flacco, our fam from UC Santa Barbara, you know, last week he was talking about, we're tired of being researched. We want to start doing the research, you know, and that's a big part of policy change, you know, is this tangible evidence. So when you're, the thing I have to emphasize is get your ego out of it. Get your fucking ego out of it. Sorry for cussing, but it makes me extremely upset because people try to, you know, publish these papers and doing all this, like, this is going to help change the system, but they never been in it themselves. We know what's up and what's going to change because we went through it and we survived it. So we need to be leading the way for doing all this work. And especially right now, I'm an abolitionist. The whole thing needs to go, and I commend like you, Shani, when you sent that email to everyone. I was like, yeah, we in solidarity, straight up. But I know everyone has, everyone's entitled to their different views, and we need to be in community with each other, and we need to know how all the everyone else's thought process and how they view safety and everything. But at the same time, as history will show, we can no longer be fixing things with band-aids and reforms. We need a real, drastic, dramatic change of the root of it. So yeah, if you want to be a part of that, please be in community with us and stop trying to take our stories and put your name on all this and that. Get your ego out of it. We got to be in solidarity with each other, straight up. Yes.
Okay, first I just want to say this is something that's on my computer. It says
Hey.
in the making. So I'm here with you. Because everything you just said needs to be like, I hope every single school hears you out, because you literally just laid it out. Like, that's what we need. Like, that's the type of support. And sustainability is how you keep it going, like how it actually like continues to go on and on. So we're wrapping it up here. And I just, you have so much energy, you have so much intelligence, like your mind, I feel it being sharp. Okay. So I just want to know for you, MJ, like what type of impact do you want to leave on this world?
Ooh. So first and foremost, I want to inspire other people to be leaders. I want to inspire other people to, elevate their consciousness. Because when we each individually raise our consciousness, we collectively raise our consciousness. And especially the youth. Listen to the youth. What we experienced when we were younger, I'm 30 years old now. But when we experienced when we were younger is not, it's not completely different, but it's evolved in a different way to fit the modern times for the youth. The youth are the ones that are leading this. The youth, the youth need to be. We got to be there to guide the youth. Sorry, hold on. Excuse me. But what I really want to do is I want to, as a leader, I feel it's super important to build up other leaders, not boss people around. That's your ego. Get that shit out of there. We got to be in community with each other and stop trying to one up each other, But what I really want to do is I want to, lead by example. I want to help, build up youth leaders and inspire people to be good human beings and really seek things that feed your soul and not your ego. I'm all about that. I'm not perfect. I'll say that first and foremost. I am, we are most hardest on ourselves. And this is, why it's important to lead by example. I feel like, you can only control yourself, but if you push that hard line and you live unapologetically in your truth and your light, you give others that same permission or same, conscious decision to do the same. We're constantly living in this world where we're comparing each other and, everyone wants some type of clout or all this. I mean, not everyone, but that's just like the mainstream narrative, right? Fuck all that shit. You can't take none of that when you leave here, and if we're really going to heal and collectively raise consciousness, we need to come together and do it first within ourselves and then branching out, to each other and really being in solidarity and community with each other. But first and foremost, the youth is most important. I really want to, strive to inspire the youth to pick up the torch and do this work. I'm a youth organizer with Coleman Advocates in San Francisco, which is basically building up youth leaders, like from elementary to high school, and really hearing them like actively get interested in these spaces is so awesome and so dope and like so essential because they are so impressionable and as a adult, I will say this too. Be a good adult, like be a responsible and a safe adult. You see all these adults in these spaces exploiting our children. Stop all that, like, and when you see it, call it out. Who cares if people don't like you? You stand for truth. At the end of the day, feed your soul. You know what I mean? And yeah, and I just really strive to, keep fanning the flames of the revolution, but also the importance, what I really want to also emphasize here is because, most people, maybe they're turned off to the abolitionist movement or, because it's scary because they're like, what, you're going to burn it all down? Then what are we going to have? Well, that's why it's important to also be building up things that are healing in our communities, prioritizing, transformative healing, transformative justice, restorative healing, restorative justice. Like literally the healing aspect is so important because if you don't, address the wound, you're just going to trade one oppressor for the next. So push that hard line of, justice and liberation and freedom for all. It's all of us or none, you know. And yeah, and just lead by example, and don't be afraid to be your own person. And yeah, I just want to, yeah, I guess just inspire people to take charge of their own lives, and don't listen to other people and the dogma and all that bullshit. You know, at the end of the day, and I tell the homies when I would go talk in like juvenile halls, it's you doing that time by yourself. When you die, it's you going in that ground by yourself. When you put your lay down at night, it's you laying down with all the worries, you know, by yourself. So it's you. You got the power to create, manifest, believe in yourself, you know, and also rely on your support system and be that for others as well, you know, because we got to be in community and solidarity. Excuse me. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. And so, yeah, now me and Nia will put the mic down and just call it the MJ Show, as you know, successfully done.
You kind of be our third like co-host or something, because I mean, at
Right,
this
because you obviously need to be on here. We need to bring in like a MJ week. You know what I'm saying? Because your fanhood is already about to be big. No, thank you, MJ. I want to reiterate, we need the check. Always. Please don't get underground scholars. Don't get no previously incarcerated scholar messed up. We out here grinding. You know, we making the moves that need to be made. And without those of us who were criminalized, we would have nothing, and we would still be in slavery, right? Because it was a crime to not want to be a slave. So thank you to those of you who have been willing to fight for your freedom. And MJ, I just want to like commend you and let you know that in terms of your speaking capacity and capabilities, please do not ever, allow yourself to be devalued. You have the ability to say the words that have already been written in a very natural way, but also in an intrinsic way when interject yourself. And I just think that you have, 30, you probably live to be 90, Lord willing. And the effect that you'll have on this world will be amazing. You already have done a lot. And I'm just happy to be here with you, for real. And thank you for doing this with us.
Yeah, of course. And thank you both. You know, I love this. And I think it's great because this is one of the storytelling is such a powerful tool, you know, all this. So it really humanizes us and really sees all of we all come from different, walks of life, but it's so important to see our commonality, you know, and in our humanity. So thank you for all the hard work y'all putting in too. And yeah, let me know if I can contribute anyway. Yeah, I'm so down, you know, we got to be here for each other, you know. So yeah, let me know. And thank you for allowing me to be here in the space. And shout out to whoever, nominated me. Much love, y'all. Love y'all. I love all y'all. Thank you for everything. And all the chapters, keep doing our hard work. You know, we're seeing this and we're getting the ball rolling. And, right now it's so important to keep the momentum going. So, let's keep this going. Thank you all.
All right. I will say farewell.